hello, Miss Michelle Gray and my lovely boy, Eric. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you? And Eric says, love you, mama. Mwah.
Love
Great
you
big kiss.
too. And we had with Denise Ramon a couple of days ago, we had a wonderful session. I learned so much from Dr. Albert Einstein and Royal Raymond Rife. Maybe it's, Royal Raymond Rife and Nikola Tesla. We were talking about doing energy work with dowsing rods in a scalar energy field. And we didn't get all our questions done. So I was hoping that they would be able to come back for a redo, for a curtain call.
Yep, they're here. They're here. They're
Awesome.
sitting at a table. They're sitting at a table.
Great. Thank you so much. It was so fascinating what you all four shared with us. But here's my next question. You know, I use the dowsing rods in the field. It's so cool because I see Eric's wispy spirit in it so clearly. Bella's flapping her ears, making my paper move. I would like to know how, and any of you guys can answer this, how does Erik move the dowsing rods?
Okay, who wants to take this one? Okay, this is Einstein that's answering this, and this is because he's talking about the electromagnetic field, because we are electromagnetic field. Erik is, you have to excuse me because my scientific jargon isn't so good, but because Erik is as well, and it moves the subtle frequencies within our body, subtle like muscles within our body. So it's like focusing. Erik's able to focus his energy, and it runs through you or connects to you.
But I had these that have these little cylinders that I hold on to, and I don't use the dowsing rods that you know, I don't, they swing freely within a cylinder, and I don't move the cylinders don't
No
move.
It's not you that does it. It has, what they're showing is like, it's like a structure. So whatever he's like, whatever our structure is like a ground, because it has something to do with us holding on, or you holding on to the dowsing rods.
I don't hold on to the rods though.
You don't hold on to them at all?
No, I hold on to the cylinders where the handles of the rods flow. I mean, go back and forth freely. The handles just spin freely within the cylinders.
Well, there must be something that charges off of your energy though.
Oh, okay.
Because he's showing it cycling from your energy, and maybe that's what amps it up.
Yeah.
You know, because it's definitely you're part of it. You're part of the sequence, for it to happen. He's also saying about Erik's energy as well, about that being part of it, and in the scalar field, how that amps it up to be able to see his energy.
Yeah, so that really makes sense, because if there is a question that has a lot of emotional charge for me, we have to crank down the frequency a lot. So, of course. So, why dowsing rods in particular?
He says that dowsing rods are he says maybe not quite in the form that you're using them right now, but dowsing rods being something that is like an ancient, he says, like with sticks, it's an ancient form of connecting with the magnetic fields in the earth.
They're looking for water.
It's really interesting, because what he's showing me right now is my grandmother, because my grandmother was a water dowser for her neighborhood. And so she was called upon, they used to call her a water witch, because they call upon her to go on people's properties in the area that we live, and she would walk around and take a stick, and that's what he's showing me, is a Y-shaped stick, and she would walk around with it and it would bounce in the
Oh,
areas that it would have. Now, she never understood exactly why it was happening that way, but what he is showing me is he's showing me just under the crust of the earth. And so there's like, well, magnetic fields, we have ley lines, water, all of these minerals, thank you, properties that connect, and again, connects to us as us being the uh, like the way a battery would operate. So it's all
oh.
part of the package.
So
Um,
is it like one is a positive, one is a negative, that kind of thing too?
he said yes, we could consider it that way, as a way for us to understand it. He says to simplify it, we could say it that way. It's funny because he's saying that and kind of looking at me like we could simplify it for Michelle
Oh,
to understand it that way. But he says that this is an ancient technique. So he's showing me the way my grandmother did it was common in the way they did it years and years and years ago. And so this was something that was used to source for medicine, and also he says like natural fields for energy. So where there would be vortexes of
oh,
energy for healing. And
wow.
so he's saying that water, well, like natural springs, um, places that are high vortexes. What is that? He's showing me a picture of it. Stonehenge.
Oh, yeah.
The that's what it is. Yes, with the circle of the rocks.
Uh-huh.
He's just showing that there's energy there, but he's not particularly focusing on that, but saying that there's other areas around the planet that has this natural energy, these vortexes,
Did they
and that
use,
ain't,
oh,
well, that they would use it for healing,
did
that
they
they would
use
use it.
did they use things like that to find a place to build places like Stonehenge?
Yes, they did. Yes,
Okay.
they did. Yes, they did, he says.
Interesting. Uh, so, uh, so unlike a pendulum, it's because you got these two things, and magnetic field vortexes, pick up the positive and the negative, right?
Yes, yes. And so it's Erik is just saying that it's more accurate because of that. Although we do, there is some effect with our own body, whereas if we are exhausted or if we were mentally worn down,
Hmm.
that it could affect our accuracy, but that it has a higher accuracy than a pendulum would.
Oh, interesting. All right, so there's certain things that seem to interfere, and I found this by playing 20 questions, and like, is there something wrong or missing? And yes, there's always yes. Until recently, now I got it covered. Like at first, I couldn't have the internet on. It reduced the accuracy until I got a session with Kim Voigt, a personal session. Now I can. Uh, any kind of metal, like I couldn't wear my glasses, makeup, hair products, you know, um, watches, anything with a magnetic strip, like a barcode, certain kinds of crystals. Why is that? Or in electronics, it can't be any, he specifically said it has to be more than 7 feet away.
It's interesting because what he's showing me, what Einstein's showing me is when we look at, we think about going into an MRI machine,
Mm-hmm.
how they ask us to take off
Yes.
metal. They
Yeah.
ask us to take off our rings or jewelry, any belts or anything that has a clasp to it. And what they're showing is your body. So I can see arrows going up and down your body, and with like a watch on, for example, I can see your wrist and I can see the little arrows stop, and then the arrows go the other direction on the other side. So it had something to do with the flow of the energy, or
Mm-hmm.
that it would block the natural flow of the energy. Um, are you now able to wear all of it? Because they're
Yeah, I'm
showing that.
not all the metal, but now I can wear makeup
Okay.
and hair products. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's like Donald King called and he wants his hair back, that kind of thing.
Because some things will affect it more than others, because I'm still getting that if you have a watch on, or if
Yeah,
you have
no.
something
Yeah.
that you can't do it, because it shows like it's like uh what is that you're showing me, like a magnet, it's like repelling.
Oh,
It's
okay.
repelling, so it's not that flow, so you're not getting the same power that you would, same accuracy with those
Okay,
things on, so it
why?
could affect it.
Yeah, why would a healing session change some interferences? What do you see? Is it a spin of electrons or whatever changes, or the flow of meridians, or what is it? Einstein or Tesla or
Both,
Rife or
but
Eric or
who's going to answer? There feels like they're collectively answering some of these, because
okay.
Einstein's leading them. I can feel some of their energy collectively answering, but this one feels like Einstein and Tesla taking this one. But so they're showing that um, it's in the flow. So I don't know meridian. So this is circular, because the energy is supposed to flow outwards like this, and they
Okay.
show it moving like this. And so it's not, I don't know if it's can you guys give me a little more words instead of pictures?
What's flowing? What is it? Is it photons? Is it light waves? Um,
Yes, light waves. Um, but what they're actually showing me is it looks like pieces of flecks, like little pieces, like light, like little flicks or little flecks of light.
okay.
And they're showing it first, the way it's rotating is the way it should rotate, is they're showing it vibrating outwards like
Okay.
this. And then they said when it's blocked by something, it's doing this. It's
Okay.
not going, so it should be able to rotate outwards
Oh,
for
okay.
healing.
And so the healing session corrected that.
Yes, it did. But that also has to do with your system, the way that your energy was flowing prior to the healing session.
Okay.
So it changed the structure of how it was moving in your body. And um, Erik is also saying that that is going to change again. So the more that you heal, that's going to change more, or it's going
Okay.
to flow differently.
And get better. All right. What other interferences? Oh, like he said, when I went through, okay, is everything okay? Nope, 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 nope. But I go play the 20 questions and it ended up being, my feet were dirty. I had to go wash my feet off and dry them. So why that? Is it because there's metal in the dirt, metallic stuff, or what?
Impurities.
Oh,
Impurities.
okay.
So any impurities, think about it when we do anything, when we think about clearing our space energetically.
Oh, okay.
Erik is just answering this one and saying, when we clear our space energetically, when we think about what dirt is and what's in dirt, it's
Oh,
clogging up the
desiccated
field.
cockroach bodies. Ooh.
He says it's just some of these things can affect the accuracy and the direction, or how powerful, how he's like zeroing in, like you can be very accurate. And he said, so each one of these steps and what you are doing, he says specifically with the type of energy work that you are doing, is very specific. And so
Cool.
these type of things do affect the specificity of how you're directing the energy
Okay.
or the
Is
field.
there any other interferences that I have not uncovered with Erik? With you, Erik? Because did I have to play the 20 questions with?
He's just saying that there may be something with light sources,
Yeah, I
some of
turned
your
off all the
light
lights.
sources.
He told me.
Hmm.
I found that out. Overhead
Yeah.
lights.
he's not showing anything else, but he's just saying that some of the lights, and he's being saying like the type of light that it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. What kind of person can use or cannot use rods? These rods in a scalar field, we'll say,
Um,
because it can be pretty dangerous if you don't know how to prep everything. It's so complicated.
well, that's true. And actually, they're just showing me somebody who has a lot of metal in their body.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, some people that maybe have,
Pacemakers, maybe.
yes, things that affect the function of their circulatory system. I just asked if it had if something with like metal in their knee, or if they had some sort of an injury, and they're saying that it may cause like a imbalance in it, but that would be okay compared to what a pacemaker or something of that type would be.
Okay.
There's also some sort of injection port,
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
something that's injected. It has to do with the bloodstream
Okay.
connected
Okay.
to
Yeah.
the body.
Okay. Well, I know that there are people who try to learn how to do their own portal work, and one person watched some instructional YouTube, and oh my God, he let in a lot of really bad nasties, and all hell broke loose. It's not for the faint of heart, and man, it can be so dangerous. I had to fix things for hours for this person, so it was crazy. You got to be super. It took me months, and I lost so much hair, and there was so much black scum left in my bathtub after I took baths after these things. So you got to be really careful.
Einstein is just saying that is very true, and that there is not, if a person has not gone through the process of understanding, because we don't necessarily have to understand exactly how it works, but we have to understand what it is that we are doing.
Yeah.
Because there are things that we can allow in, and changes that we can do to the body. And Erik says to our own field, or opening portals that may not be very easy to close again.
Mm. Yeah. And closed portals to
Yeah,
be open, and all of a sudden your
yeah.
abundance just dries up to nothing. So, yeah, that's
Erik
bad.
says leave it to a trained professional with this sort of stuff.
Like me. All right. So when I'm doing it, you say the water dowser, they use the magnetic field of Earth. Is that part of what I'm doing also, or is it just a scalar field?
It's part of what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Tesla is just saying that nature is part of this.
Okay. Oh,
So because it's all like because he says God source, so it's all part of it.
okay.
The scalar machine is what's enhancing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well, how
what
does that
brings
work?
the
I mean,
power to it.
that's what I want to know. What kind of amplification of power? How does that work? How does it amplify the power? Um, can you do it on a physics level? Does it like make the electrons spin faster? I don't know. What's it do?
He just nodded to your talk about the electrons, but he's also saying that, so if we were to go ahead and dumb it down for me, you can say it for me. Okay, so he's going to give me a little bit of a diagram here to try and give us some sort of explanation. So when we think about the scalar energy, when we think about naturally what it is, because it's free energy that naturally occurs within the universe. And the frequency, so when he says spinning faster, so the frequency, having control of the frequency, is taking what's naturally available to us and then spinning them faster and making them direct. Now, there's also a point to it, what Rife is saying about the dowsing rods allows you to connect. Okay. The intention, your intention that's connecting to parts of a person's body. So when you are working on something specific in somebody's body, say it's a tumor or a broken bone or anything else like that, you are directing and vibrating that tone, because they're showing all these little pieces. So these particles that go like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then within them are all these little pieces that are moving like this, and they're very specific.
Oh,
And so they know where to go, because what Tesla is saying is that it's intelligent energy.
wow, interesting.
So we're working with intelligence.
Yeah, cool. All right, what is the, okay, wait. Oh, can some people use dowsing rods outside with great accuracy outside of the scalar field as long as they say a prayer of intent and protection? I mean, it has to be local though, right? They can't help somebody on the other end of the country or the world because scalar, well, Tesla knows this, right? He's the scalar guy. You know,
It's not the
it's dimensional
same.
energy.
It's not the same, but it's yes. So this would be the same as what we use with intention. So if we look at
Okay.
somebody that is a healer,
Mm-hmm.
so if we've got somebody that's a healer that's using dowsing rods,
Right.
then we're able to use that intention
Oh yeah.
and use that energy in that way. So it may not be quite the same as the scalar field, because he says that then intensifies it. But he says,
Okay.
let's look at you specifically, Elisa. He says, you are a healer, you have intention, you also are a natural healer, and you're using the scalar field. So you're combining these with direction, with intention, which is quite powerful. Somebody that is using this outside of the scalar energy. So he says, if you are using this outside of the scalar energy, you are able to do that. So he says that you could direct energy, but it's not going to be as powerful as what you are doing within the scalar field. But somebody could still use dowsing rods that was a healer to be able to check chakras, to send
Okay.
healing, but it wouldn't have the same effect as what it is in the scalar field.
Oh God, you mean when I'm in the scalar field doing stuff, I have to actually focus my intent? Oh,
Einstein smiles and he says it would be helpful.
oh God. Okay, I better write that down or I might forget. I'll write that down. Okay, so now what's the purpose? Oh, what's the difference between using DNA in the scalar field versus photographs as far as reading the biofield?
Hmm. So the photographs is like the informational, and Tesla says that the DNA is getting into the structure, is
Because
working
I
right into
have a
the structure.
DNA analyzer attachment, and you
Mhm.
can put fingernail clippings, saliva, various things.
Depending on the type of work that you're doing as well.
Okay.
So the DNA may be necessary for some more intense work when you're changing the structure of that being.
Oh, like cancer, for example?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So how would you know on DNA whether you use saliva, hair follicles, or fingernail clippings?
Erik says mom uses dowsing rods,
Oh,
and your
aha. Okay.
intuition.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about Herkimer Diamonds. That's a big setup. It's very elaborate. What's the purpose of using Herkimer Diamonds? What do they do? Who wants to answer that one? Because that could go anywhere.
Tesla's taking that one. He's calling them an amplifier.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, I've got one on my neck right now.
Yeah, me too.
I do. Yeah, yeah.
But boy, you have to prep those in a certain way at first and then do something every X intervals. There's so much to this, people, more than you know.
Yes.
So,
Erik is just saying, he's putting a lot of seriousness to this and just saying that there are a lot of steps that are taken to this, because this is not a, he says this is a practice that takes very specific moves to be able to have the benefit, to get the results
And it's
that are
life
desired.
changing. And, y'all don't bitch about price, because sometimes it takes me 6 hours for $475. Come on. And
I
all of
can
a sudden,
honestly say it is life changing.
yeah. And like my son, he went from $15 an hour to, after the portal work, oh, look, guys, we're moving you for a few months to California. You can get $12,000 a month. Okay. And then you're going to get $16,000 a month. So I'm telling you, it works.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So why, sometimes he wanted me to buy X number of Herkimer bracelets. Some I wear on my wrist, some I put certain places, and some necklaces, but also some loose diamonds. Why? What's the difference?
Well, it talks about that being a very, like, a powerful crystal.
Yeah, but
Like
why some? Well, I know why he would have.
Why the amount? Why the amount?
I know why we would have bracelets on my wrist, but why X number of necklaces in a configuration, X number of bracelets in a certain configuration, and X number of loose Herkimer diamonds in a configuration?
He says, think of it.
Or what?
Yes, that's exactly what he just said. He just said it before he did.
That from you guys.
Yeah, you did. I couldn't even spit it out fast enough because he said it a few seconds before you said it. But wow. Yes, he says, think of, yes, of course, Einstein just says, to understand the universe, think of it as in mathematics. Think of it as in shapes. And so Erik's just saying, yes, he says it's all about the geometry. It's about shapes. It's about symbols. He says, think, Mom, how having you coil it up. And he says it has to do with a symbol. Now, something else that's interesting that Einstein is adding is he's talking about the Kundalini up the chakras, up the back, and how the Herkimer diamonds are being coiled. How they're being coiled like sorry. They're being
that's life.
They're being coiled just like the serpent, like the snake, like the Kundalini. And how that is like it's like a symbol. So he says everything breaks down into symbols and to numbers. So mathematics, because they hold frequency, and because of what they are, is the energy is an amplifier.
Oh my God, coiling thing. Oh, is that tight enough? No, gotta do it again. Oh my God, Erik, really? Oh Jesus. Anyway, so that's fascinating. And also there must be sacred geometry behind putting the picture of the person in the, because I'm trying to cure my daughter's father-in-law of 2 types of cancer. And he's got imaging today, and I hope it's good news. But anyway, it has to be X number of a specific amount away from the side of the stand. And oh my God, that must have to do with an X number of inches away from between the receiver and the transmitter. That's got to be sacred geometry also.
It is. It has to do, because they're showing me like, just as if we were to look at it's the flow of energy, and they're showing me triangles. So I can see 2 triangles. They're going like back to back. So it has to do with being set right into that field, in the field, right at a specific, because it has to do with the, let's see if I can explain this. If we were to think about this energy radiating out into the universe and how we're all connected to it. So the intention of this flowing to this person, they've got a match of that geometry in one way or another. Their being, and so they're just showing that this is how it travels. Wow. This is like speaking the frequency, the sacred geometry, the shapes, the measurements is like speaking the language of the universe.
Fascinating. Well, he gets imaging today, and I hope it's good news. Erik, I had dialed down because it's so emotionally charged for me. I mean, before August, we started his treatment August 4th, and he was already planning end of life stuff. So Erik says it's going to be really good news on those 2 things. But awesome. What do you think?
Yeah, he says so. He
Good.
says, yeah, he says things are going well. He's showing a check mark for today.
Oh,
So
good. Okay.
showing some improvement or things looking good. He
Good.
also says that there's going to be some question marks of some people going, what's going on
Yeah.
here?
He told me it's like going to be like, oh, 80 something percent gone on one and 80, 90 something percent gone on another. Some real high number.
Hmm.
So,
I'll just add too, because just as you were speaking about him, um, Einstein was just chipping in with Tesla and saying that even though Tesla says I may not be able to be there in the physical form to watch this happening, but this is the future to medical technology.
yeah.
That this is, and that you, and they're calling you Dr. Elisa, that you, Dr. Elisa, are a pioneer in
Oh,
this
he called me
technology.
mama. No, you guys were. And Dr. Rife, or I guess Dr. Rife, we used Rife with him too. So thank you. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for that. And now he's on pure scalar that was designed by a frequency regimen that I change every 5 days because of you, Tesla.
They're saying it's a wonderful combination that
Yes.
you all have together. It's a wonderful working combination. Hmm.
Yeah. And I thank y'all for that. All right. So also I have this deal I'm planning to buy a whole bunch of generators. And Eric's going to help me pick out a picture, an image of the whatever represents the fear-based collective, and a figure of some sort of card that states an intent. And just 24/7, boom, 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 try to heal.
Hmm.
Because then you would like, everything, people who are greedy, the victims of the greedy, prostitutes, pimps, drug lords, addicts, every jihadis, just everything that is fear-based in the world. Do you think that's going to work? I mean, it'll take at least to make a dent.
Yes.
Oh, that would
Yes.
be awesome. And it'll help heal
Yes.
Mother Earth, Eric told me too.
Yes. And this is what they're all combining their effort in this answer and just
Good.
saying that this is exactly why you are, and they want to note that they know this is not why you do it. They want to make that very clear, but this work, that you are the perfect candidate, and this is part of your life purpose to be able to bring this forward and to participate in the healing of the earth, and that yes, it is a success already. So they said that you're actually walking through the physical steps of doing it in this reality.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Um, okay, going on to more menial things. So Eric tells me that we can together do like healing pets, physical illnesses, spiritual stuff like opening up different like the decalcifying pineal glands, activating DNA, Kundalini awakening, fixing the upper chakras and opening third eye, all this kind of stuff. But also, even male pattern baldness and acne and all that stuff. But we can also help like garden and ranch stuff. Like I'm really disturbed by oak wilt disease in the hill country. Those 500, 700, they're just dying. So I want to get a picture of the oak wilt fungus DNA and a picture of the oak and see if I can cure that. And Eric's given me a frequency to start with, and it's going to take put it through 14 days. I'm trying to get a picture of it. Will that work, guys? Can I help?
Yes, yes, they're just saying that the DNA is going to be more important in the beginning.
Okay, so I only should get a picture of the DNA only, or can I put a
No,
picture of both of them with an
both of them,
intent card?
both of them, but the DNA is going to be what helps it. They're just showing that both of them are important, but the DNA is a little heavier on the scale of being able to change, because it has something to do with these trees have changed, or their
Okay,
structure has changed. So this is going to
yeah,
help turn them back to an original structure, a healthier structure.
Should I get a DNA of the fungus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you
It's not
can,
going to bring
yes.
back the dead, but anyway,
No.
I'll see. And then if I have somebody whose ranch has a bunch of them, could I just get like an aerial view of their ranch and
Yes.
that's cool.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Yes. And they're just saying, Tesla's just saying that the why having a bit of the fungus is important is because it's changing the molecular structure of the fungus.
Oh yeah.
So that's why it's important, because it's the fungus that's attacking the trees.
Yeah. Oh.
So if we can change the molecular structure of that, then it's no longer going to be, it's like that's what spreads. So it's killing that, changing that.
Yeah, good. All right. So is there anything on my list of things that I'm trying to help people and animals and plants and trees and stuff? Is there anything on my current list that I'm not going to really be able to help?
The only thing Erik is saying is, Mom,
I'm not going to do cancer. I can't.
Well, he just said the only thing you're not going to be able to help is just those that it's a spiritual contract.
Yeah. Well, what people will do is they'll ask, and then I'll ask Erik, and it'll be yay or nay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh yeah. What is Project Victory Earth? Because somebody told me, I don't know who, through one of the mediums, that I am part of that. So what is Project Victory Earth?
Is this something that you were told that you're part of that you're just not aware of yet?
I'm not supposed to know now?
Well, no, it's not that, but they're going back to what they told you, what they were saying to you a little earlier about you being a pioneer, and saying that there are many in different areas of the world that are coming out, that there is like a talent, there is purpose, and each one of you has a very specific part to play in bringing in this new earth. And that because what they're just saying is the breaking down of the older structure is going to take the healing of building the new structure, and we have to have human beings here on earth to be able to help bring through not only the spiritual energy but in through to the physical. So you're part of this, and they're saying a group. There's a group of other human beings.
How many are there, you think? 10,000?
They gave me 10. You're bang on. As
really,
soon 10, as they yes.
Wow. Hey,
as soon as you
Facebook group.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I've been better since, but maybe since the healing. But yeah, we ought to start.
You're like saying things before I can even spit it out of my mouth. That's awesome.
We ought to start a Facebook group and then have a Zoom party. But anyway, will I live long enough to see any of the fruits of all of this?
You are.
Oh, I hope so.
You're gonna see some in your lifetime, but this is gonna continue. And I tell you, Erik's already shared this with me, and so he's just sharing this with me again too. Is you'll be somebody that children will be like, your story will be told. There'll be children that will hear about you and what you are doing to help the world, and also to help medicine.
I don't want people
there's
to
so
know
much more.
Look what happened to Tesla and Rife. Their technology.
Different time.
Technology was.
It's a different time. It is a pioneer time, but remember, it's a lot of times like, look at Tesla right now and what we know, because Tesla is just saying, you know, he maybe didn't get to see the fruits of his labor, which a lot of that is happening now, because what was old, what happened before, is now what's going to heal the earth.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
all of this is going, once this catches on, because what they're saying is it's going on an upwards ramp. So as we pull out of the sludge, Erik says, everything starts to catch on with momentum, because a lot of this information has already been there for a very long time. And
Yeah.
so you are part of this.
Well, I've been able to stand on the shoulders of giants like you guys.
It's awesome.
So will I be dead and gone when my stories started to be told, or?
Your story is going to be told in, we'll say, bigger ways, they said, after you've transitioned. But you are going to, they're showing me a ribbon cutting. So there's something that you're going to be part of, because I can see a ribbon and a big pair of scissors, and it's you cutting the ribbon.
Okay.
There's
When I'm
something
alive,
that's going to
or
stay
as I'm
celebrated.
crossing
When you're
over?
alive. When you're
Oh,
alive.
really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else to say? I'm so honored for you guys. I mean, what all you have done. And
They just want you to know that they're part of this with you. So to please call on them at any time. To, if you would like any information or any help, that they're quite fond of Erik.
oh,
So they're happy to
me
help.
too. I'm so fond of my boy too. I love you, Erik, and
Pretty awesome.
thank you so much for being a part of this, Erik. I love you so much.
He loves you too. It's awesome.
All right, and thank you. You guys go check out Michelle Gray at thehealingh.art.com. I love you, Erik. Love you, Michelle.
Love you too. He loves you too,
Love
Mama.
you three boys. You three boys.
Mwah.
Thank you for helping me. And Erik,
Okay.
I already love that. I love you so.
Awesome.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.